You're watching Valley News Live on KVLY. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Thanks for joining us on Valley News Live. We start off our show today with breaking news as Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced plans today to station nuclear weapons in the neighboring country of Belarus. Now he's calling this a warning to the West as it steps up military support for the country of Ukraine.
We'll be sure to provide further updates as details become available. In local news, one Fargo woman is sharing her story in hopes to encourage others. Felicia Meyer is battling breast cancer.
And while the days have been tough with radiation and chemotherapy, she tells Valley News Team's Aaron Walling that one of her main motivations to keep fighting is set to happen this May.
Felicia Meyer is in the midst of a difficult chapter in her life. She's facing stage 3 breast cancer.
There are some days that I'm not positive. I'll be honest, it's hard.
She found out in January that she has cancer, but thanks to the support of her family and community, she hasn't been fighting alone.
You always want to be strong, and that's something that this family has really showed me, is that, we get through this stuff together.
Lots more texting and getting together than we used to, which has been nice.
Just helps so much by bringing us all closer together.
Meyer has a lot of motivation to keep fighting. That includes becoming a first-time grandmother, which is set to happen in May.
She is definitely the light in this battle. I can't wait to see the little girl and to hold her and just shower her with love. She is definitely something that is needed during this time.
The Meyer family say they are close, and this cancer battle has brought them even closer. Video calls on Thursdays after chemo. Her son wearing pink for hockey, each one of them helping to keep her spirits up.
My wife means the world to me. We're best friends. We do everything together. We share everything with each other, and I'm so looking forward to getting through this with her.
Despite the chemotherapy, having her hair cut off, and being sick, she keeps a positive mindset, looking forward to when this is all over.
I can't wait to get to that point, to ring that bell, and to have my family there to celebrate this journey, because it's been tough.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Felicia, we cannot wait for you to ring that bell as well. Now you can read more about Felicia's story by downloading the VNL News app for free today. Just search VNL News app in your app store.
All right, well, it's time to check in with First Alert Storm Team's Jim Gash at what things are looking like right now. Jim?
Well, we have a pretty nice evening on our hands for most people across the area. We have very sunny skies, just one cloud floating there here in Fargo, and we have another chance to see those northern lights this evening, well, tonight after that sun sets, but there could be some issues. We could see some clouds increasing as we move later into the night. Now that peak time is about 11 to about 3 in the morning, so those very late night owls out there will perhaps see a chance to check out those northern lights. Make sure you get north of the city, look at that northern horizon, and of course, check that radar and satellite to make sure there are no clouds in the way. Now, temperatures across the area, most places are sitting in the mid to upper 20s. However, some places on our far eastern side are sitting in the 30s. Baudette, they're at 37, our warm spot right now. And a look at the satellite and radar shows some clearing skies, those clouds pushing their way to the south. Now, guys, I'll have more information on what our nice Sunday will look like coming up in a couple of minutes.
Alrighty, Jim, thank you. Well, Special Olympics North Dakota celebrated another polar plunge at the lights in West Fargo. Now, participants braved the cold air and water to help bring awareness and raise support for the organization. Now, according to Special O, this was their biggest year yet as over 65 people signed up to jump in that cold water today, some for the first time. Now, while others have been doing this for years, Special Olympics of North Dakota says the community is crucial in their mission.
The community is what makes us who we are. So, everybody coming out, doing the support, and supporting our athletes, it makes everything worth it.
Now they plan to send an athlete, a coach, and a trainer to Germany this summer to represent not only the state, but the United States as well.
Former president and current candidate Donald Trump is set to hold his first rally of 2024 in Waco, Texas this evening. Trump continues to face the prospect of a possible indictment. Trump supporters have been gathering in Waco all day. The rally comes as he's been upbringing his supporters to protest his current investigation by New York's district attorney. The city of Waco estimates 15,000 people will attend the rally.
Now, in other news, Pope Francis has updated and made permanent his 2019 plan of governing clerical sexual abuse, extending the laws to include accountability for leaders of Vatican-approved organizations.
One of the changes includes provisions for holding leaders of Vatican-approved associations accountable for a cover-up of sexual abuse. Previously, the norms related only to bishops and religious superiors. These leaders are people other than clergy member who are on the professional rosters of the church.
Now, another change involves the definition of abuse victims, which previously referred to minors and vulnerable persons.
Well, 3 years ago, one of the greatest unknowns was the COVID-19 virus. And while the world has changed a lot since then, healthcare providers are still facing challenges and having to adapt on a daily basis.
And here we are 3 years later. We finally have a glimpse on some of the lasting changes and impacts that COVID-19 has had on a hospital here in the state of North Dakota.
Dustin Hager, a physician assistant at the Heart of America Medical Center, says he remembers not knowing what the medical community was up against.
We were hopeful that this was going to, the virus would burn itself out, or the virus would move through the population at a quick pace and it would be done quickly.
Of the 36 rural hospitals in North Dakota, there hasn't been any closures since the beginning of the pandemic. Eric Christensen, the CEO at the hospital in Rugby, says in the post-pandemic world, the biggest change has been the attitude towards healthcare.
There was a lot of talk about, we don't need all these hospitals, there's too many hospitals, too many hospital beds. When COVID came, we didn't have enough hospital beds.
Hospitals were short on healthcare professionals then, and it continues to plague clinics and nursing homes. Christensen says 15% of geriatric nurses left the industry.
Environmental services, housekeepers, folks that want to clean the facility, kitchen staff. I mean, we're finding that there's a struggle across the entire healthcare system.
Some of the custodians haven't returned, and hospital officials say it's been a challenge to fill those positions.
A lot of places are, they have staffed beds, they have more licensed beds, but they can't fill all of them because they don't have enough staff.
Hager says before, during, and after the worst of COVID, he sees his role as an educator, so patients can make informed decisions about their treatment.
It's hard. There's a lot of regulations. You're held to a very high standard. But in my mind, there's nothing more rewarding than helping your friends and neighbors who are sick or ill.
He says he's seen the rates of child care and preventative care visits begin to rise again.
Christensen says health clinics are currently under reimbursed for telehealth communications, but there is a national push to raise reimbursements due to the increase in telehealth calls.
Well, the PRCA Rodeo has made its way into the Fargo Dome for the weekend. Now the Championship Rodeo has brought in more than 200 cowboys and cowgirls to compete in a variety of events. Now fans and attendees can see firsthand bareback bronco riding, steer wrestling, tie-down roping, saddle bronco riding, basically a bunch of stuff that I would be absolutely terrible at. Now you can watch all that action at the Fargo Dome tonight at 7:30.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, workers at a Starbucks in Minneapolis picketed their place of business earlier this week. Stick with us as we tell you why.
And we're now number 2 on the list of consecutive days below 40 degrees, and we don't have all that long to get up to number 1. And looking at our temperature trend, we're going to stay well below normal for quite some time, so we have a chance at that number 1 spot. And I'll have a look at your Sunday forecast coming up next.